Come on, where's my background? There it is. Hey, hey, and it's all loaded up. Hey, and there's the chat. Woo! We did it. We did it, guys. Hey, welcome to the Something Good Network live chat on YouTube, or live stream on YouTube. Still got to think of a good name for all this because I still want to kind of keep things a little bit separated. Don't really want to, step on all the show's toes, so to speak. But yeah, because this isn't really something good for you. This isn't really couch potatoes. This is something kind of in between. It's something good live, but that's kind of what I call something good for you. But I don't know. Maybe that could just be the name of this show, Something Good Live. But either way, welcome guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I have come completely unprepared for the evening. I just showed the fuck up. Kind of like what I do to anything. I just show up and then just wing it. But yeah, we finally have chat going on over here. Yes. In the future, I'll probably be able to modify this and get it to where you can kind of see the text a little better. But that makes me very happy. I'm really glad to see that that is finally working. And yeah, it's been a crazy couple weeks, man. Glad to finally be back on here. One of the things I wound up doing in just that little bit of break time. Hey, Hellburn, what's up, man? Just in that little bit of downtime, wound up getting a new day job, and that's what wound up kind of keeping me from doing a live stream last weekend, and that's why we're here now. But with that in mind, I think it's kind of time to keep up with tradition, kind of get back into the swing of things. I've finally gotten another day job, so I've got a little bit of income coming in again. And I really want to start doing these shows and these podcasts and now live streams a little bit more. So to kind of make YouTube mad at me straight out the get-go, we got to bring back the pre-game pre-show. If it's not going to happen on the Couch Potatoes, it'll happen at least here on Something Good Live. And honestly, it's kind of a better fit for Something Good Live than it really was the Couch Potatoes anyway. But this was something I found in the back of the fridge. Again, shout out, thank you so much to Dustin. This is Howlerhead Monkey Spirits. And when you first look at it, it just seems like a traditional 40% bourbon whiskey. But when you read the fine print, it says that it's banana flavored. I'm not sure about the banana flavor because who wound up having like those banana popsicles when you were a kid? My grandmother had those a lot in her freezer, and I remember liking them when I was a kid, but I feel like I had it again like in my teenage years, and it was not that good. So I'm kind of imagining this is going to be the popsicle that kind of fell in a vat of bleach. So again, I apologize ahead of time to the YouTube gods if this winds up biting me. I don't think this would bite me in the ass. I see people drinking on YouTube all the fucking time. I'm a fucking paranoid Pete because I don't want to fuck all this shit up because, folks are actually enjoying this shit. But either way, I've got my Obi-Wan chaser here just in case, Did try to think a little bit ahead on this one because I really don't know. Now, I don't know how I want to go about this. If I just want to do a taste, a sample, or if I'm supposed to just dome this. No offense to you guys. I think you just got to wait 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, okay. Well, if that's so, I'll kind of let that ride for a little bit. We'll put a little cap on here for a moment because it says I've been recording for about 5 minutes. I was recording for about maybe a minute before I hit the full go, so we'll just kind of hold on to that. But with that in mind, I do definitely want to do the taste tests here on YouTube again because that was a whole lot of fun. Again, huge shout out to Dustin, basically funding that entire segment on the Couch Potatoes there for a while. And again, we definitely will be doing the Couch Potatoes again here soon. we just got to get schedules lined up. It's probably my favorite show to do. This one is fun, but being able to get together with Chris and be able to do all that other stuff, that honestly is my favorite of the shows. And of course, we had the new episode of This Fucking Guy drop this week. Those guys have always been on it. They're always rocking it out. So that's always a joy as well. But, you know, since I don't have any sort of monetization going right now, I think I've waited enough. I think I kind of belabored the moment long enough. Let's do a quick little smell test to see what I'm going to be working with here. Okay. So the smell isn't too bad. I'm afraid of that taste. I feel like that taste is where it's gonna fucking really pop me in the jaw hard. So, anyway, cheers, guys. Let's see what happens. That wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but that's still not... I wouldn't reach for this again. Ooh, there it is. That one has a really delayed reaction. That's when you tell the joke and like no one is really catching it until like the back of the room, all of a sudden that one guy goes, ha! And then it just kind of, the wave goes down the aisle. That's kind of what happened here. Is it hit it first, then it was pretty good. Then the banana kicked in. And when the banana kicked in, then I knew we were having some problems. Okay. Yeah, that honestly wasn't too bad though. Not too bad. Not as bad. Obi-Wan is definitely saving me. Ooh. Ugh. No. Obi-Wan opened up a brand new world of banana. Ho! Now I'm drinking banana Coke. Jeez. Ooh. God. Yeah, I'm gonna... There's like the tiniest bit there. I'm gonna leave that there for when I need an extra little kick for the rest of the episode, because... Ooh, lordy. So yeah, I definitely want to bring that segment back some. And once I get a couple more paychecks under the belt, I've been keeping an eye out. There's some very interesting products that have wiggled their way onto store shelves that I found quite interesting. So I'll definitely be bringing that to the attention. And the taste tests don't strictly have to be alcohol. In fact, I'd prefer them to not be, because I don't want to drink that damn much. Sorry, I'm also just pulling up my iPad because that way I can kind of keep an eye out on messages along with all that other stuff. So let's see here. Cool. All right. So what do we want to talk about tonight, ladies, presumably, and gentlemen? So I think we've got a good bit of topics here that we could go through. I finally saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Finally saw that last weekend. That was chef's kiss amazing. And actually, as I'm kind of getting some suggestions rolling in, I'll go ahead and talk about this. Though I have not been able to run around and do my retro shopping like I really want to, there will be a return of that. Probably sometime by the end of this month, maybe early next month. I'll be able to finally run around and start picking up some inexpensive little tchotchke items, and hopefully before the end of the year kind of start being able to build up some of the collection pieces again. However, as I promised in the last stream, I had a very, very special package coming in the mail, and guess what? It finally came, and I've recorded the video. I just need to get it edited. I'll probably do the voiceover for it tonight. I think my next day off is going to be on Wednesday, or Thursday rather, so it might take a little bit, but that's one of the other things too, is since I've got the day job, it's kind of kicked me in the butt to make me kind of schedule out my content and actually edit it and get it on a backlog again, because I actually do have about 5 or 6 more of those TikTok unboxing videos that I still hadn't posted. I just gotta do the voiceover, and that's honestly the hardest part. Editing it and filming it is very fast and easy, but doing that voiceover, just, I don't know. I'm always, even though I do all these live streams and stuff, I'm very self-conscious about my voice and the way it's portrayed. But yeah, so with that, I did get the package. I filmed the video. Hopefully I'll get it posted next week. And it had some really, really amazing goodies in there. And I can't wait to show them to you guys. Because frankly, when I got everything unboxed, like my mouth just dropped. And everything just looks so nice over in my little gaming setup now. And yeah. Fistful of Quarters is going to be a whole lot of fun with the abilities and capabilities that I have now. Dustin goes, any fun stories from the road with Tuck? Honestly, man, I really don't know how to answer that. One of the things I could say is I could probably pull up the link or find the link. But on the most recent run that we did through the Midwest, we stopped by this radio station, and he did like an in-studio performance of one of the songs, and I did a little interview with the rest of the band. And I think that's a really good representation of what it's like being on the road with those guys and the stories that are kind of told. So I think that's going to be kind of a good starting point, is finding that out. I might find it and kind of post it up in the Discord, because it's really, really funny. We got up pretty early that morning. Tuck was stressing because, from, the musician side of this, or actually, let me flip it around. From the radio professional side of this, they just want to be able to get the artist in, get them promoted early enough to, get some, radio play and some show, or some, hopefully some heads in through the door, that evening. And they're just like, yeah, why don't you just come in, we would love for you to do a performance during your interview. Well, if your interview is early in the morning, well, that means your performance is also going to be early in the morning. Think about Howard Stern. And Tuck was kind of have to go through the same sort of thing. We got to the station real early, and then he was going to have to perform. He was very worried. Turned out fantastic. Sounded really good. So that's why I'm kind of promote the episode. Is it was very, very funny. And the radio show itself is very funny themselves. The host and co-host just made us feel right at home. It was really nice. And yeah, the other shows that were on that tour were really fun. And yeah, I mean, not to kind of burst anyone's bubble, but for better or worse, it's not really the 70s or 80s or even the 90s anymore. That kind of crazy stuff that happens on the road is kind of few far in between. You kind of have to create those moments, and I don't know, I think it's just the level of where we are wanting to do things. We don't invite that kind of behavior way too often, and the times it does, we promptly forget about it. But yeah, I definitely do want to kind of do some more of the live streams. I think it would be fun. I want to kind of think of maybe some different theming I can do, because one of the reasons I've been so meticulous with the way I've gotten this set up, I also realized that there is a typo on here. Haha, whoops. That might be part of the reason why some people might not be able to reach me. I just realized there was a typo in the voicemail hotline number here on the screen. Whoopsies. That needs to be like that, and then like this. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's the correct number. Sorry about that, guys. It's 704-269 8771. I just got it, okay? I'll have it memorized for the next stream. See, trivia, there's a program that does it all in the comments. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be a whole lot of fun. But yeah, what I was saying though is I've been kind of meticulous with the way I've set up the stream, because I wanted it to be a way that was not necessarily mobile, but a little bit more freeing. if at all possible, because I'm not chained to a microphone here at the desk. I have my little wireless mic, and I'm using my phone to stream. And now, thanks to Dustin Spovid, I've now have my chat on here, and I don't even have to really set up anything extra in OBS. OBS will just kind of automatically read it, and then I can just kind of pop it up and go live straight through YouTube, which means I'd be able to grab this and take it with me and kind of do some shit and still be able to stream like normal. So I don't know. I think there's quite a few different things that we could do that would actually be a whole lot of fun. And yeah, I'd like to kind of brainstorm some ideas. I'm not above being the dancing monkey, and you know, if this is something that winds up being beneficial and we get some extra viewers and content out of it, I think that'd be fun. And I've got even a gimbal that can face track. That way, if I needed to get up and actually do some ridiculous, stupid shit, I could do it and it would actually face track and follow me and, you know, keep us on board. Which would actually be fun to maybe do a cooking episode, a cooking night. Might see what I can do about doing that. But baby steps. I finally at least got the live chat, you know, going over here. So that's at least nice. And, you know, hopefully as we get a little bit more viewership and stuff like that, interaction will pop up, and, you know, you won't just see the entire history of the chat all on one page. And again, until we kind of get a flow for these, this is going to be just a little bit more free form. I'm not very interested in trying to get a set formula for this, because it's kind of the unnamed show. It's the untitled show, which is part of the reason why I didn't get rebroadcasted through the Couch Potatoes channel. Is as I was editing up, and right as I was about to post it up, I was like, you know, I don't know. It's not really. It wasn't really a Couch Potato show. It was really its own thing. So I kind of want to keep this its own thing. So if anyone has any good ideas other than something good live, let me know. But you know, this is also getting my feet wet to possibly do some extra independent content, because I've had this thing in my head that I've wanted to do for a minute, of a weekly show, and I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to you know, say what I want to do and then just never do it. But it's an idea for a video weekly show, and let's just say I kind of take a Stephen Colbert, Jon Stewart kind of role. I'll leave it at that. And I've been kind of mentally fleshing it out a little bit more. I think it's something that I could potentially do. I just have to sort through and figure out what does the workflow look like, and what amount of work does it have to do, or what's the workflow? Essentially, that's what it comes down to. I just have to shoot an episode, see what the workflow is, see if I'm happy with it, and then how easy it would be to replicate it week after week, because if I were to do it correctly, I would probably film it on my day off and then edit it on my second day off to post on like maybe Monday, and then be able to gather up enough content within that 7 days to be able to do it again. And it does open up the availability for me to even bring in all the co-hosts from the different shows on the Something Good Network, from This Fucking Guy, History We Forgot, you know, all that different stuff. So who knows? I'm still sorting it through. I'm having to be the producer on this side. You know, that's kind of the struggle of being the independent, the sole person doing things, is, you know, you can't really just be the creative and just go, I want to do this. And then it's up to someone else to, you know, make it happen. And then you're just, you know, the person creating. You know, my role is producer, creator, editor, promoter, everything wrapped up together. So I have the content right here that I really want to do. I'm just now have to put the producer and director hat on and go, with your available time frame and with your availability, what can you do in that realm? And I think I'm kind of getting it together. And honestly, doing this, the live stream here, is kind of helping some. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. And again, do not forget about the voicemail hotline, especially now that I've corrected it to the correct number, 704-269-8771. Leave me a voicemail. I'll probably go through at the end of the episode or the end of this stream and play some of the voicemails, unless someone gets really, hot in the chat and it's just like, play my voicemail now. Okay, fine. I have a thing to play your voicemail immediately if that is so what you do desire. But otherwise, I think that'll be the way I roll it, is we promote the hotline number at the bottom, and then at the end of the show, we roll through with our funny little skit of playing the things, and as time goes on, I'll probably find a better way to play it, because as of right now, I'm just going to be playing the voicemails through my iPad and into the microphone so they, play. But I'll get a little headset and everything else, like Lost Boy was recommending us to do. So I think that would be pretty cool as well. Dustin just goes, okay. I don't know what that was too, but all right. But yeah, so just to kind of recap, not to get too much ahead of myself, but I definitely am planning out some more content. Fistful of Quarters, new episodes coming out Tuesday and Thursday. I finally got my Mario 64 content edited and uploaded. It's just sitting there ready to post. It's on the schedule. I ain't got to touch it anymore. It's ready to go. With that special package I got in the mail, I've got a whole bunch more content I can record and film. And I'm kind of circling through the idea, draft B, C, D, F, and G of this weekly show I've been wanting to kind of do. And the main reason being is this is what I had someone earlier ask me, what are some tips and ideas for starting out a podcast? This would also fall under the same realm. This sounds like a ridiculous number, but it's true. If you want to start a podcast, video series, YouTube show, whatever, before you press record and before you post anything, if you are dedicated to doing this, make sure you have a minimum of 50 episode ideas. I know that sounds insane, but so many times I've seen people go, oh, I have this amazing idea to do XYZ. And then about 5 episodes in, or about 5 turns later, they're just kind of done with it. And it's because they ran out of steam, they ran out of ideas, they were able to put out what their initial creative oomph was, but then after that, they were kind of left scratching their heads and wondering where they wanted to go with it. And currently where it stands, the concept I have for this YouTube show, I could definitely do for an episode or two, but I'm wanting to make sure that I'm setting up this show in a way that I have a lot of content that I'll always be able to do. And maybe if I had a team of writers, if I had a team of people behind me to feed me information, I probably could do it a little better, but unfortunately, this is me and only me. Yeah, Eric said it perfectly. It's like going into business. In order for a bank to back you, you have to have at least a 5-year plan. Yeah, I say you have to have at least a 50 episode plan. And that doesn't mean you have to write out hardcore your 50 episode ideas and put it there. But when you think of the concept of your content, whether it be your videos, your audio, whatever it is, mentally cycle through and be like, is there an endless amount of possibilities to pull from, to the amount that I could, theoretically in an hour or so write down 50 solid ideas that correlate to this creative project. And that's the way at least I like going into it. That way I'm not just producing a handful of things and then just going, I ran out of steam. So just give me some time. I wanted to initially do album reviews and things like that. I'm gonna lose steam on that, especially because I recorded one of those videos probably 3 or 4 times, and it just went in nowhere. It felt good when I was recording it. I wrote out so many different scripts, but it went nowhere. So I'm gonna have to kind of put a pause on that one, and also kind of looking at it in a way where maybe this weekly video series could potentially morph into that as well. So yeah, and same kind of concept went into when I'm making these TikToks. Yeah, I still just feel so nasty when I say stuff like content, or specifically TikTok. But when I was doing those unboxing videos, before I posted the first one, I went, is this something that I can do long term and not lose steam or fake anything? And I kind of quickly understood that, yeah, I could probably always keep this up because, I immediately pivoted. I opened up a few boxes, I opened up a few packages, and then I immediately pivoted to showing off my Game Boys. That way, I could ensure that all of the content moving forward could either be a brand new package I got or showing off a piece of my collection, whether it be video game, music, art, whatever it may be. So at that point, I went, okay, I know I have at least 50 items around me, which means I have at least 50 video ideas. I can go with this content. So that's why I decided to go with that. So just to kind of give a little bit of a glimpse into the way my head works. Some people say I'm a bit arbitrary and overthink things. The way I like to look at it is I like to properly plan. Small business administration. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, either way, you have to have a proven track record, and my proven track record is ensuring that I have enough content to go around and not making false promises. Same thing with like the video game content. I did not want to start saying, oh, I've got, I'm going to start doing all this video game content if I only had like a few games in my collection. Thankfully, I've got a nice thick shelf of games over there I can pick from, and as long as you've got a good handful of games, you can always go right back to them like I'm already doing. And then with that awesome package I recently got, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff I can do. So I definitely like being able to set myself up in ways that I'll be able to fulfill what I say I'm going to do. So yeah, we've got a good bit of viewers here, a decent bit more than when we started. So I'll toss it out one more time. Make sure to check out that voicemail hotline number if you want to chime in, if you got something to say. I'll be checking that out at the end of the stream. And I'm going to kind of finish this off here and do a quick little chaser. So if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, definitely leave them in the chat, especially now that they are showing up over here on the screen. That makes me so happy. I feel official. But yeah, cheers, Dustin. Thank you again for the Howlerhead and for the years of content that you have provided to this channel and the years of support. Cheers, buddy. Hack. God. See, it's like all the banana was waiting for me at the bottom. Ugh. Whew. You're worth it, bro. You're worth it, man. Oh, man. Whew. That's what she said. Ha! All right. So, like I said, I did see the new Deadpool movie. I'll kind of go into non-spoilers starting out, and I'm very good at doing that. If anyone has not seen the movie and does not want it spoiled for them, you got to tell me in the chat. Over here. Tell me in the chat. Be like, I've not seen it, don't spoil, or just type in no spoilers, and I won't say anything because I don't want to upset anyone. I was able to thankfully avoid spoilers. Yes, Bovid, Wolverine was in it. But yeah, I don't want to spoil anyone's fun. I was able to avoid a lot of the spoilers. One or two things I wound up understanding that I got spoiled early on, but that's okay. I don't want to pass that on to anyone else though. So if you have not seen the movie and you don't want it spoiled, tell me in the chat, and I will not go into spoiler talk. I'm going to be very gentle with what I say and how I say it before anyone has a chance to be able to hop in and be like, don't say nothing. But yeah, exactly as Bovid said, Wolverine was in it. And frankly, overall, it was a movie that made me so happy. It made me so happy. Hopefully we'll do a full breakdown and rundown when Morrison is able to see it on the Couch Potatoes. So I'm not going to give like a full play-by-play. Again, especially if anyone has not seen it and does not want it spoiled, I will not go into that. But non-spoiler discussions, I was very happy to understand that they did not spoil everything in the trailers. That was something that was very worrisome for me, was that people were just, or that they were just putting way too much in the trailers, because they were pumping out trailer after trailer after trailer there for a bit. And it seemed like there was like new footage in like every one of them. So I was kind of getting worried that I was going to piece together the movie, or that they were showing off too much of the movie. No, they really didn't. I mean, there's still a few things I would have maybe have liked to have not seen in a trailer. I think it would have been a bit more impactful to see it in theaters. But the things that did not get shown in the trailers and did not get spoiled for me was absolutely mind-blowing. Just what Ryan had said from the very beginning of the press tour. You know, they sought after making a movie that made folks just unequivocally just happy. And yeah, were there some problems with it? Yeah, there was. There were some plot holes, whatever. But did I leave the theater happy? Yeah. Definitely have to say I did. I feel like I left the theater happy. And yeah, I don't see anyone in the chat really warning me, being like, I've not seen it, so I'm gonna go into spoiler talk. So if you weren't able to get to the computer, if you weren't able to get to your trusty handy dandy keyboard in time, that's fine. You can turn me off, you can mute me, you can close out the video, that's fine. Like I said, don't want to spoil anyone's fun, but I would like to talk about it some because I thought it was really fun. You got 3, 2, 1 before I go into it. Holy crap. Probably my favorite, hard to say favorite sequence, but what a way to start the movie. And I'm not even talking about the dance sequence. The dance sequence was funny as fuck. But the Short King Wolverine, the 90s crazy Wolverine, the crucified Wolverine, the Cavalrine. Oh man. Holy crap. And the orange and brown suited Wolverine. That entire intro, I was grinning ear to ear. I'm sure whoever saw me was just like, this guy is a maniac. But yeah, that was very fun. That was a very, very cool intro sequence. And I'm a part of a couple different Misfits groups on Facebook. And everyone was posting Short King Wolverine, being like, I hope this was a reference to Danzig. And what they mean by that is, if you're not aware, Wizards Magazine posted their wish list for casting for like an X-Men movie. And Logan, Wolverine, quite a few people were actually saying they wanted to see Danzig in that role. It was before he got fat. You gotta put your mind in the mind frame. Early to mid 90s Danzig, okay? Buff Danzig, you know, not current Danzig. Don't think about current Danzig. you know, younger Danzig when he actually had hair and muscles and shit like that, not looking like a, bowling ball with pubes, glued to its head. But that actually was a bit of a fan cast for a while, with Glenn Danzig as Wolverine, all the way to the point where it was heavily rumored that he actually got the role. But of course, we all know that that wound up not coming to be. So everyone was just like, was that a Danzig? It wasn't a Danzig reference. They say it exactly in the film. Comic accurate Wolverine. Short King Wolverine. So that was just fun to see. For the folks that have seen this movie, tell me your favorite of the Wolverine cameos, or variants rather. Not, it wouldn't be a Wolverine cameo variant, whatever. Then you also had Old Man Logan as well. Spovid goes, when he was Danzig, not Damzig. Or Hamzig. Yeah, so back then. But I will say, though, one tiny letdown, and I thought it was just, you know how sometimes when you see something in theaters, it just looks a little off and seems a little off? Henry Cavill as Wolverine was badass, but he did seem a little weird looking in the movie, and I thought it was just my angle or perspective. I've since watched it, not rewatched the movie, but I've seen those clips like on YouTube. I feel like they could have done a little better with him. He looked a little off. He looked a little weird. I wish that hadn't have been the case, but still seeing him in the film, and the line of "We will treat you so much better than those shit fucks down the street." Oh, my entire theater was roaring over that line. So that was really good. Okay, to kind of pull a negative, the TVA stuff felt a little messy. I understand what they were saying and doing, but I don't know. I guess my analytical brain kind of was looking at that guy being like, so what if it withers away over the course of a few thousand years? What the fuck is it to you, bro? Eh. So that part just kind of felt a little contrived. And I don't know. I did like the inclusion of the TVA, and this is kind of where I'm split on the movie a bit. I'm really happy with what I got. Okay, I'm not looking at this and wanting a refund. However, it seems like they could have either done away with the TVA or made it more of a central player in the movie. It felt more or less like the TVA was like a Call of Duty lobby. More or less. Like, this is where we all just kind of reconvene after we jump into these few maps. Okay? That's I kind of like that analogy. It was kind of just the lobby before jumping into more maps, because, we've got Wolverine in his main timeline after getting rejected from, the Avengers. And then TVA pulls him into the lobby, and then he jumps through time, grabs, finds his Wolverine, then jumps back into the lobby, the TVA, and then jumps out of there into other areas, Cassandra, and then the TVA is still the central point even before going back to Deadpool's main universe. So it just feels like, with the TVA being kind of the central anchor point of the movie, aside from just, the time splitter, or the, universe killer, whatever the fuck they call it in the movie. I've only seen it once. I don't know. I just wish it had been maybe a bit of a more pivotal player, or just not even a player, just maybe make the TVA more of a cameo, where they're kind of just alerting Deadpool to the fact that, hey, maybe, okay, we already had a time jump. All right, cool. We had a time jump, and now this universe's Wolverine has died off. And for some reason, the TVA is letting this Deadpool know that he finds out that his universe is going to die off because his Wolverine died off. And he thinks that finding another Wolverine is going to save his universe and save all his friends. At that point, then we really wouldn't even have to see the TVA again until the very end, when you find out that, well, no, that's not going to actually fix your universe. And then whatever crazy Act 3 happens would happen from there. I feel like that might have been a better way to kind of utilize the TVA in the story. But that's actually my only complaint. It really is. That's my only complaint to the movie, because I just feel like that could have created a better narrative. But I don't feel like they really cared about narrative. And if they didn't care about narrative, neither do I. I don't care either. I was there for the fun, flashy, fun craziness. And seeing the return of Johnny Storm, Chris Evans, made me smile so hard. I had a feeling it was going to happen. I would have been shocked if it didn't happen. But seeing Chris Evans as Johnny Storm again just really made me so happy, because I've talked about it before on the show. I did see the original Spider-Man 3 in theaters. I can't remember if I saw 2 or not. But I know for a fact I saw 3 in theaters. I know that for a fact, because I was hardcore on the hype train, ready to roll for that one. But when it comes to... when it came to the Spider-Man 2, I don't remember. I do want to say I did see it in theaters. No, I 100% saw it in theaters because I was excited to get the DVD because I had already seen it. That's what it was. Yes. So I had seen both of those in theaters already. So when it came to the other comic book movies, I wasn't as hyped on it, but I still wanted to see them. The X-Men movies were the only ones I didn't see, but I did see Fantastic Four. I don't remember if I saw the first one, but I know I saw Silver Surfer in theaters. And those movies do kind of hold a special place in my heart. Not to the point of where I've seen them anytime recently. But no, I definitely look at that as kind of my first fun Fantastic Four. I have a Silver Surfer poster somewhere in a box that I actually got from the theater. So that was a really fun cameo that made me really happy, but I didn't fall for it. They wanted you to believe that it was going to be Captain America. But I'm sitting here going, they're in the void. What Captain America got pruned? No Captain America got pruned. The only Chris Evans that got pruned could be Johnny Storm. So no, I didn't fall for that for a second, but it was a really nice cameo. I will say that, as something I mentioned earlier, the X-Men were not one of the movies I really watched a lot. I will say that a lot of the battle scene cameos kind of flew over my head. Thanks, and huge shout out to New Rock Stars for helping me out on that one. I really gotta love these nerdy YouTube pages that wind up really telling you who all these cameos and who all these people are, because without them, whoo, Jesus Christ, I'd be lost. But the X-Men cameos were hard to point out. But moving over to probably the next batch of like, holy cow, this is really cool. We get a scene with Elektra, X-23, and motherfucking Blade, Wesley Snipes' Blade, which was just, oh yeah, Jessica Garner, Elektra. And then we get probably the most memed out character so far, which is Gambit, played by, his name just escaped me. Sorry guys, if you want to correct me, tell me in the chat. It's on the screen. I like that. But that was such a really cool one because the actor thought that he was going to get the role. Channing Tatum, thank you. Channing Tatum thought that he was going to get the role early on, but he never did. So for that constant joke of being like, I thought I always was here. I was laughing. I could not stop snickering the entire time that part was going down. And the fight scene was really cool. Motherfuckers always trying to row uphill or something like that from Wesley Snipes. That was always good. I do have a question, though, for folks that have seen the movie. Want your opinion on this. Not to jump around too much, because like I said, I think I want to do a full breakdown with Chris when we do get the chance, including the fight scenes and everything else. But let me get you guys' opinion. When, at the very end of the film, when Deadpool goes, hey, there's a lot of people that didn't get a proper ending, they deserve a second chance. Do you think that means that Elektra, Blade, Gambit, and, well, we are, in addition to X-23, Wolverine, and Dogpool, do you think they're actually saved and out of the void now? And I'm only saying just out of the void. I don't mean in the MCU. But do you think that they made it out of the void? Do you think we're going to see these characters again? And the reason I asked that, and the only reason I asked that, it seems like it would be a no-brainer, of course. However, we do know that we're getting the new Blade series, movie, whatever it's going to be at this point. We do know that we're getting that with the new actor. So with Wesley Snipes kind of being back in the picture, and with Ryan, Deadpool rather, God, I keep wanting to call him Ryan. He is Ryan Reynolds in a Deadpool mask. But when Deadpool goes, there's a lot of my friends that didn't get a second chance, they deserve their ending. I wonder if they're going to be out of the void and potentially part of another, gathering of the characters moment. Ryan wants to do a big Logan-esque ending for Blade. Ooh! That would be very interesting to see. And that's what really makes my head, or the gears kind of turn on that. Because, for all intents and purposes, for all we know, that actor, I forget the actor's name also, usually for the couch potatoes, I'm a little bit more prepared. That actor, has been confirmed and, working in the Blade role. So unless, I don't know, conspiracy time. Maybe that's the reason why the Blade series keeps getting delayed so much. They were going to go with this actor, but ever since they finished shooting this movie and they saw how much Wesley Snipes, really performed as Blade, who knows? Maybe they're going back for the 4th time and reshooting Blade with Wesley. And they're just going to continue that on. That would be really cool to see. I'd love to see Wesley Snipes beat the fuck out of the current Morbius we've got. That I would pay double the ticket money to see that movie. Especially because we got that little tease for Morbius at the end of the Blade movie. Not that I recently rewatched those, but again, shout out to New Rockstars for filling me in on all the nerdy shit I need to know. Yep, and Eric brings up another point. He did have the line, there's only one, I can't talk now. There's only been one Blade, and there will only be one Blade. It feels like I could actually say the line without reading it. The way the text lined up on the screen on my end blocked it off in the weird way. But yeah, he was saying there's only going to be one Blade, and that's me. So who knows? Maybe they are going back for like the 5th time and reshooting it with Wesley Snipes. I think that'd be really cool to see. And then Chris also goes, Chris Evans leaning into the part fully and memorizing his lines in the cage. Yes. I forget what interview it was, but I heard a recent interview with Ryan where he was like, he reached out to Chris and was just like, hey, I really want you in the movie. And if so, I shot him over. He said he shot him over a quick treatment of his lines, and he goes, "If this is in the movie, then I'm in the movie." So Chris leaned into it hard, and this apparently happened right before the writer's strike, specifically to shoot all of the Blade stuff along with Gambit, X-23, and Elektra. All of that was supposed to be shot right before the writer's strike. And that happened literally like 2 days before they were supposed to like start officially shooting. So he had to send everyone back home. And he was nervous as hell that they weren't going to be able to get them back for the film. And then as soon as Chris rolled in, he was like, "Look, we're on a time crunch. We have a lot of shit to do. I can set up, a teleprompter and some, cards for you off to the side." And Chris turns to him and goes, "I'm a professional." And he said he knocked it out in 2 takes. Yeah, exactly. Eric goes, he never gets to say lines like that. And that's what I would imagine. So is like, I can imagine, especially someone like Chris Evans, where sure, his Johnny Storm character, he was able to kind of be a little bit more suave and teenagey and a little bit more angsty, or to coin the corporate phrase, edgy. He still wasn't cussing up a storm. It was still a PG-13 Fox movie. Now he has full reign to go full R-rated mode in a Disney film of all things. And yeah, I can just imagine that after all those years of playing squeaky clean Chris Evans, or Captain America rather, he was very happy to play foul-mouthed Johnny Storm in The Void. I want to get, I'm sure someone's already done that. I think it'd be funny to get a t-shirt or a coffee mug printed with that entire phrase on it. And yeah, I definitely rank this one super high up there. And I feel like for the people that loved the Fox X-Men universe, like I loved the Spider-Man movies, I feel that people are going to get the same kind of enjoyment out of this that I did No Way Home. Because there definitely were some moments on there that didn't quite affect me emotionally like I'm sure they wanted it to. Mainly because I didn't have such an emotional connection to Wolverine and, the X-Men series. I think I've seen each of those movies maybe once, and I was kind of cool with it after that. I don't even think I've seen Logan front to back, mainly because I just don't have that emotional resonance with that character or that story. So the moments like between him and Daphne, or X-23, I don't think that hit me as much as, they were really wanting it to. I don't think, so much of the heaviness of Wolverine's history kind of weighed on me like they really wanted it to, because I just don't have that emotional connection, as I said. However, the things that they did, they were doing fantastic. And I can imagine for someone that, was a ride or die for Wolverine, like I'm a ride or die for Spider-Man, that this was ticking every single box for them. Because even for someone like me that really could be a bit more blasé about the character, even I was getting pumped up and, a little affected by some of those moments. So I could only imagine how for like a real true blue Wolverine fan that this is, I'm sure, a movie that you would love. And even just like the tiny little things, like I noticed how they allowed this Wolverine to be a lot more animalistic with like running on all fours, and just a lot more brutality with his, actions and movements. So that was just so cool to see. And I will say there was only one joke in the movie that I thought I could have actually written better. God for fucking bid. I know now I'm sitting here going, I'm a better writer than Ryan fucking Reynolds. However, I do feel like one line could have been just a touch better. Mainly because it was a line that kind of popped in my head and kind of auto-completed. And then he said something else, and I was kind of let down by what he said, because I thought it was going to be a bit of a different joke. But when he shows up to the Wolverine that failed house or universe, and he falls backward. He opens up his thing and he looks and he sees the costume, and we don't see it, but he sees it, and he goes, "Yeah, that only took 10 fucking years to happen." Talking about he's getting him finally in that suit. I wanted him to make a joke about runtime, because a lot of people were saying, oh, a lot of those scenes with Wolverine are probably closer to the end of the movie. We're not going to get him in that suit for a whole lot of the movie. I wanted it to be like, well, that only took 10 fucking minutes to get him in the suit. Being like, we're getting him in it early. We're not making you wait for it. We're giving it to you right now. I thought that was the joke he was going to make, but it wasn't, and I'm cool with it, but I thought that could have been a bit of a funnier joke. In a similar interview, he did mention that Disney, Kevin Feige, whomever, did not give them any extra notes for things to change or lines or jokes they couldn't use. And in fact, they even clarified the whole cocaine joke that they've been making in the trailers and stuff. Feige never once said that they weren't allowed to do that. He said that he just didn't find drug use funny, and he wanted this to be a funny movie. So he almost kind of challenged them, do it in a way that can make me laugh. So the exchange of, do you want to build a snowman? Yes, but I can't, actually hit that mark of being funny. But if they're going to do it, they got to point to Feige because he said that. But anyway, the only joke they actually legit asked them to change was a line that Ryan still has not said. He still hasn't said what the actual line was, but he has said what the joke was that replaced it. So they're in the void, and we just got introduced to Elektra, Gambit, Blade, and X-23 inside the little cave. And I forget what spars it, but Deadpool goes, "God, I just feel like someone shoved Pinocchio's face in my ass and started lying to me," and he started lying to me. He said that was the joke that replaced the joke that they kind of went, if you could replace this one, we would appreciate it. You don't have to, but it would be nice. And they replaced it with that joke, and they gave that the green light. That really makes me wonder what the fuck that joke was. Like, if their joke was so much to the point where they had to say something, and then they approved that joke in its place. I'm very curious. Have to say, I'm very curious. Curious boy. I got questions. Ryan. Buddy. But yeah. I'm not really quite sure what else I could talk about with the film without kind of giving it a full rundown breakdown. But utterly enjoyable for me. I couldn't have been happier watching that film. If you guys have any other questions, comments, topic ideas, let me know. This doesn't have to be a long stream tonight. There's no time frames. A stream could go for an hour. It could go for 5 hours. There's no time frame. It's whatever we feel like doing at the time. So if you guys have ideas for things to talk about, definitely let me know in the chat right here. Otherwise, I'll probably wind up rambling here for a little bit longer. And then, yeah, I will have work, unfortunately, early in the morning. So I'll try to get in a better habit of starting this up earlier. Again, as I said, with starting work this week. Yeah, Eric's got to go to work too, so who knows? We might be kind of wrapping it up here, but I'm gonna get a little bit in a better swing of doing things over here because, um, if you guys have not really been able to connect the dots, the band thing has not worked out in my favor very well over the last few years. Um, I've not officially hung it up. The fill-ins are not retired, but they are taking a nap. They, as in me, because I'm the only one left. But the name is taking a nap. It will return at some point, though. I do promise that. Mainly because for the first time in a good while, I've actually kind of gotten inspired, and not even just musically, kind of lyrically. I've actually been starting to write lyrics for the first time in a while. But in case I don't say it earlier, have a good night, Eric. Yeah, so I have been kind of getting a little bit more inspired again, so we'll see where that goes. But in that meantime, I definitely need that something creative to do, and this is a whole lot of fun. So you're seeing a very rough draft of this. I'm going to make it a point to be a little bit more consistent with my scheduling and a little bit more consistent with how often I do this and the time that I do it. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out and sticking with me. Yeah, I think we're going to just go ahead and call it a night. The phone battery is also dying because it seems like that for some reason, even though it's plugged in, it's not charging. But either way, thank you again for watching. Thank you again, Dustin, for the Howler Monkey. That actually was pretty good. Just that last little bit definitely socked it to me in the jaw. Just a touch. But enough of this just kind of loosey-goosey stream. I'll come back next week with some topic ideas and a little bit of a better heads up. Instead of it being at 9, I think we're going to do these at 8 or potentially even 7. What I'd like to do is basically as soon as I wrap up dinner, run on in here and just start getting ready and just pop it on. If I can continue to figure out ways to do this where it doesn't completely kill my computer, I might even do a little bit of gameplay. I would definitely have to do it on a separate machine and kind of cast it to the computer. I couldn't use too much more of my internal memory on this thing, but I am kind of working out some ideas. Playing on the console would definitely be something I could do. So if you guys would like to also see that, let me know. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys next Sunday. I'll see you next Sunday. Peace.